Fever down! Bow, bow, bow!
Man, I think it's the next step up mentality as far as players. Our shifts keep changing. Everybody doing a different role, and so I think we all got the mentality where you give and you sacrifice, and I think that's what y'all see.
The Indiana Fever just did the unthinkable, and they did it without Caitlin Clark, going up against a fired-up Dallas Wings squad, fresh off a crushing loss to the Sparks. This matchup had disaster written all over it. No Caitlin, back-to-back pressure, and a hungry opponent looking for revenge. Over 20,000 fans packed the arena, expecting a historic showdown between Caitlin Clark and Paige Buchers, but that moment never came. Instead, they witnessed something even bigger. In the final minutes, the Fever flipped the script, and what unfolded shocked everyone watching. The way this team rallied, fought, and closed out the game, it just redefined who they are. And after the buzzer, Aliyah Boston didn't give a long speech. She said just 6 words, 6 powerful words that summed up exactly why this win matters more than most. If you believe in this squad, if you're riding with Indiana, drop a comment below. I've got the Fever. Let's go.
Yeah, I think for us, it's about knowing that basketball is a game of runs. And they made their run in that third quarter. And honestly, just continue to stay composed and take it each possession at a time is something that we've been working on. And so for us, that was our focus, is get a stop, go down and score, get another stop, and we try to get a kill.
Imagine this, the entire WNBA world buzzing with anticipation. Caitlin Clark versus Paige Buchers, the #1 pick of 2024, facing off against the top selection of 2025. This wasn't just another regular season matchup. This was the clash everyone had been counting down to since draft night. The Dallas Wings knew this game was bigger than basketball, so they made a bold move. They shifted the matchup from their usual home at College Park Center to the massive American Airlines Center where the Dallas Mavericks play. Just think about that for a second. You don't relocate a WNBA game to a 20,000 seat NBA arena unless you know it's going to be huge. And they were right. Tickets started flying, fans flooded in, social media exploded. This wasn't just a game, it was a statement, a moment that would set new attendance records and prove just how far women's basketball has come.
I'm finding out this morning that we probably need to hold out again today. It's just, it really is a day-to-day thing. And I think for us, making sure that we're prioritizing her long-term health and wellness. You know, it's anybody who's had some of these types of injuries understand that sometimes it's a process. She's a quick healer, and she's been doing everything that she can to get back on the floor. So, you know, we just want to make sure that we're hypersensitive to the big picture.
And then, just like that, everything changed. 2 nights before tip-off, Caitlin Clark's groin injury flared up, throwing the entire event into chaos. What was supposed to be the most anticipated showdown of the season suddenly turned into a massive question mark. Thousands of fans had bought tickets just to witness Clark and Buchers face off for the first time. And now the star everyone came to see might not even suit up. But
feel a disappointment for them more than anything, because you know you want them to see her at her best and us at our best. You know, I hate that for fans, but at the same time, you know, again for us as a team, and for Caitlin as a person and player, her health and wellness is the priority.
But here's what made the situation even more intense. The Indiana Fever had just been blown out by the Los Angeles Sparks the night before. They looked completely out of sorts without their floor general. The tempo, sluggish. The ball movement, non-existent. Aliyah Boston, she barely touched the ball. Everything that normally makes the Fever dangerous collapsed the moment Caitlin Clark wasn't on the floor.
The biggest thing for us is our attention to detail in our screening. We've got to be great screeners. We got to make sure we slow down and use our screen and our spacing. We've had some games where our spacing has been poor, and that has not allowed Kelsey to get downhill, and it hasn't allowed space for Aliyah to get going either. So I think that the 2 most important things for us right now offensively is attention to detail and screening and spacing.
Dallas could practically taste the opportunity. They knew exactly what tends to happen when the Fever play without Caitlin Clark. The offense slows down, becomes easy to read. Aliyah Boston fades into the background. The entire game plan just falls apart. This was shaping up to be the perfect chance for the Wings to strike, to make a bold statement against a struggling, vulnerable team. But here's the twist no one saw coming. Even with Clark's status still up in the air, a staggering 20,049 fans packed the arena. That's right, a new attendance record for women's basketball in Texas. And it happened without even knowing if the main star would step on the court. That speaks volumes, not just about the power of this rivalry, but about the unstoppable rise of women's basketball.
We'll start Ari today. We'll start her and bring Sid off the bench a little bit. You know, I don't want to take Kelsey out of what she naturally does instinctually on the wing and overload her from a point guard perspective. So with having Ari and having Sid, they'll give us a couple different looks right there.
The Dallas Wings came into this game thinking they had the upper hand, ready to pounce on a Fever team missing its star. They thought they had a wounded animal trapped in the corner. But then, Coach Stephanie White threw everyone a curveball. She shook up the lineup and started Ari McDonald for the first time all season, a move no one saw coming. Suddenly, the game plan was a mystery. Expectations out the window. What happened next exposed something deep within this Indiana team. Something even their most loyal fans hadn't seen yet. The stage was set. It was either going to be a total collapse or something magical. And then, tip-off. From the very first possession, the Fever came out on fire. They didn't just hang on without Caitlin Clark, they exploded. Ari McDonald brought a spark like her life was on the line, pushing the tempo, igniting the offense, and flipping the script before Dallas even knew what hit them.
Charles can't finish.
Gotta finish that.
Oh, beautiful pass. McDonald counted in one.
Run.
She's running the offense so efficiently, you almost forget Caitlin Clark isn't even out there. Dallas came in laser focused on one mission, shut down Kelsey Mitchell, and the Fever would crumble. That was the plan, that was the strategy. But then came Ari McDonald and she flipped everything on its head. Charging downhill with speed and aggression, she caught Dallas completely off guard. They weren't ready for her. She broke their defense apart, creating chaos, forcing rotations, and opening driving lanes that hadn't been there all season. The Wings had no answer.
Can't finish.
It's a big, you gotta lean in. You can't be falling away.
McDonald has been outstanding.
And here's what makes it even more unreal. Ari McDonald goes perfect from the field in the first quarter, but she's not just launching shots, she's making high IQ plays, reading the floor, and setting up her teammates like a seasoned vet. The Fever come out firing, draining their first 7 shots in a row, 7 straight buckets to start the game. That kind of execution, you rarely see it, especially from a team missing its biggest star.
Inside, can't get it. Lee Ru can't. Here comes Natasha Howard. 9-0 run for Indiana. Lexi Hull carries the 3.
It seemed that
You gotta get out on her, ladies. She's shooting 51% from beyond the arc.
this is a
Aliyah Boston finally starts getting the touches she's been craving, and with each possession, you can feel her confidence building. She's catching the ball in spots where she can actually go to work, and she's making it count. The Wings are so locked in on McDonald's speed, they have no choice but to leave more space down low, and Boston takes full advantage. She's scoring with precision, crashing the boards with purpose, like she's been waiting for this exact moment all season long.
Shooting to open the game. The Wings are only 2 of 14. Howard lobs it inside Boston, and Maisha Hines-Allen got lost. Allowed for the easy 2.
and you down to Natasha, and she's going to get in the paint. And so the defense has to step up to protect the drive, and now she puts that air on the ball, and AB is able to finish that shot at the rim. That was beautiful.
The crowd that showed up expecting a showdown between Clark and Buchers ended up witnessing something entirely different. They watched a team come alive, discovering who they could really be when everyone rises to the occasion. This wasn't about one superstar carrying the weight. This was about 5 players moving as one, locked in and completely dialed. By the end of the first quarter, Indiana led 33-13. Let that sink in, a 20-point lead in just 12 minutes. Even Dallas fans were on their feet, clapping, cheering, showing love for the kind of basketball that demands respect. And that kind of reaction from opposing fans, that's rare.
This is what they do. Yep. Sometimes you're going to have some back-to-back games. Sometimes you're not going to be able to get in the gym and practice. Got it.
Huh.
Good night.
And again, the veteran schools the rookie.
Kelsey Mitchell starts to catch fire during this stretch, but she's not forcing anything. The ball movement is smooth, the offense is flowing, and it's creating open looks for everyone on the floor. Mitchell drops 10 points in the first quarter alone, but it's all within the rhythm of the game. This wasn't about trying to replace Caitlin Clark's numbers. This was about something bigger, the Fever discovering who they could become when every player steps up and plays their role. The foundation was being laid for something special. But the real test, it was just getting started, because here's where things really got interesting. Dallas started clawing their way back, and fast. That comfortable lead, it began shrinking possession by possession. The Wings adjusted, they found cracks in Indiana's defense and started hitting shots they couldn't buy in the first quarter. The momentum began to shift, and you could feel the anxiety rising in the Fever fan base. And then Paige Buchers took over. She put on an absolute clinic, dropping 27 points and making WNBA history with one of the most flawless stat lines the league has ever seen. She became the first player ever to record 25+ points, 5 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and 0 turnovers in a single game. That's not just a great night, that's the kind of performance that wins games and changes careers.
She's just such a smart player. She reads defenses well, she knows how to pick you apart, and so when you play against her, you have to make sure that you're aware of where she is at all times, and also she does a great job of putting her teammates in great position. So for us, I mean, I feel like it's kind of similar in college and in the league. Like Paige is just playing great basketball and making sure that she sets up her teammates for the same.
The Wings start chipping away at the lead, cutting it down to single digits, and you can feel the tension creeping in, that familiar panic. It's back. This is usually the moment where Indiana unravels without Caitlin Clark running the show. The tempo slows, the offense stalls, players begin to press and force bad decisions. It's like deja vu from the loss to the Sparks just the night before. All the warning signs were there, but Kelsey Mitchell wasn't having it. She took control and stepped straight into takeover mode. Hitting tough shots, reading the defense, and staying composed under pressure, Mitchell delivered a performance that Caitlin Clark herself would have been proud of. She dropped 32 points, dished out 7 assists, and shot an efficient 11 for 17 from the field. But the numbers only tell part of the story. What really mattered? She made the right play every single trip down the floor. She wasn't forcing it. She was creating, leading, and keeping her team locked in when it mattered most.
Every little thing matters.
Mitchell gives it up. Natasha Howard, beautiful shot. Howard with a double-double of 12 and 11. Indiana by
Aliyah Boston comes up huge when it matters most. In the clutch, she locks in, making key defensive stops exactly when the team needs them. She's fighting for rebounds, extending possessions, doing the dirty work that championship teams are built on. Boston ends the night with 21 points, shooting 9 for 14 from the field and hitting all 3 of her free throws. But it's not just the stat line, it's the impact. She's doing everything that stars do when the game is on the line. The crowd absolutely losing it. They're witnessing a battle. 2 teams going punch for punch, trading buckets like a heavyweight showdown. Neither side is backing down, no one's giving an inch, and the energy in that arena, it's electric, the kind of intensity you only get in special games.
Incoming! Yo, great job. Okay, great job. We weathered a storm. We found some toughness in the fourth quarter to be able to get stops and to execute, right? We grew tonight. I mean, it really, everybody just good stuff, okay? Good stuff all around. That's a big time win for us on a back-to-back at the end of a tough road trip, so good stuff.
Hey, one more. Coach's 100th.
Yeah! All right, let's go. Here we go. Together, 3, 1, 2, 3.
With just minutes left on the clock, Aliyah Boston scans the arena. She locks eyes with pockets of Fever fans scattered throughout the crowd. Jerseys, signs, chants echoing through the noise. And in that moment, something clicks. This is what she would later explain, that every game feels like a home game because no matter where they play, the energy follows them. The fans show up, the passion travels, and as the clock winds down, it's Boston and Mitchell who put the finishing stamp on the game. Together, they deliver the final blow, sealing a 94-86 victory that proves this team isn't just surviving without Caitlin Clark. They're thriving. They showed heart, grit, championship-level toughness. When it came down to the wire, the fourth quarter belonged to Kelsey Mitchell. She took over, making every big play, every clutch decision, and guiding the Fever across the finish line. And then came the moment that said it all. After the game, reporters pressed Aliyah Boston, asking how they pulled it off, how they handled the pressure, what it was like without their superstar. She stepped up to the mic, looked right into the camera, and dropped 6 words that summed up everything. Every game is a home game. Those words hit different. Suddenly everything made sense. The confidence, the energy, the way this team carried themselves like they belonged on that stage. Because they did.
There were a lot of Fever fans today at the game. What does it mean to you to just have their presence with you wherever you go?
Every game is a home game. I think you see that. People show up, they show out. I think it's great for this league, just people continuing to come to games and watch, because I think when people show up to watch a game, they might have came for one person, but they leave liking many more. And so I think that's the way you look at it, right? You've had this arena that's filled and people are coming in and they're like, whoa, I like her, she's tough. And so I think it's just great for the game.
She explains how Fever fans show up everywhere. No matter the city, no matter the arena, they bring that energy with them, and you could feel it during the game. Fever jerseys scattered throughout the crowd, roars that grew louder with every big Indiana bucket, and standing ovations from sections packed with fans who traveled miles just to support their team. But this moment wasn't just about winning without Caitlin Clark. It was about proving that the bond between this team and its fan base runs deeper than any single player. Aliyah Boston put it perfectly. Fans may buy tickets to see Clark, but they leave falling in love with the entire team. And that's exactly what happened inside that arena. Those 20,049 fans came expecting a headline matchup, Clark versus Bueckers, but instead they got something even more powerful. They watched a team come together. They saw role players become stars. They witnessed a group that refused to fold when their leader was missing. And in that moment, they didn't just watch a basketball game. They became part of a story, the kind of story that creates lifelong fans.
Likewise, I take pride in wanting to see people I've never seen before. So when you see different players that you admire and they want to support us, it's kind of like, oh man, they actually take heed to what we do and what we bring to the table as a league. Like she said, you kind of appreciate the fact that people want to watch us play, and it kind of brings confidence to the game, so to speak. So it's a really good thing.
Kelsey Mitchell echoed the same powerful message in her post-game interview. She talked about how the team's confidence skyrockets every time they spot those Fever jerseys in the crowd. That support, it fuels them. It makes it easier to attack downhill. It opens up the floor. It gives them that extra push to create plays and make things happen. It's a cycle of energy. The fans feed the players, and the players give the fans something to believe in. Those 6 words, every game is a home game, that became more than a quote. They became a rallying cry. Proof that this team's identity runs far deeper than any one superstar. It's about loyalty. It's about unity. It's about a bond that doesn't break when adversity hits. Because these fans aren't just here for highlights or headlines, they're here for the journey, and Aliyah Boston's words captured the essence of what this franchise has grown into. When your fans follow you from city to city, when they turn every court into a home court, that's not just special, it's unshakable. It's the kind of culture that lasts way beyond wins and losses.
Did you kind of feel a sense of urgency there that the team responded to, I guess?
Great use of the word urgency. That's honestly been the topic of conversation for us, is making sure that we have a sense of urgency on the offensive end, on the defensive end. And once again, leads did slip away in this game and last game, but for us it's about making sure that we turn that page, we get back the lead, we keep it, we get big defensive stops. And you understand, once again, it's a game of runs, and you just have to make sure that you have the best one at the end.
This win wasn't just about taking down Dallas. It was about the Indiana Fever proving they're built for something bigger, not just in 2025, but right now. With this victory, they moved to 8-8 on the season, locking in 3rd place in the Eastern Conference. They're now just 2 games behind Atlanta and 4 behind New York. And when Caitlin Clark returns at full strength, she's rejoining a team that's already shown they can rise to the occasion, even without her. That makes them dangerous. Next up, the Commissioner's Cup Championship showdown against Minnesota, followed by a 5-game homestand in Indianapolis. The road ahead looks bright because this isn't just momentum, it's the foundation of something unstoppable. If you're riding with the Fever, drop a comment below. I've got the Fever. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss a moment. Click the video on screen to keep watching, and we'll see you in the next one.